Hey everybody, Jay and Nick. We are just back from Thompson Speedway International Motorsports Park, something like that.
No, it's Thompson Speedway Motorsports International. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's in Thompson, Connecticut. We know that. And it's actually a really nice track. In fact, and they've got a very nice restaurant. They've got a golf course. They have showers. They have a driving range. It is really a cool place, and we had a good race.
Yeah, we had a veteran returning team with an Acura Integra, and they rethemed it as 50 Shades of AAA, which is a combination of S&M and highway safety. And it was really well done, and at any other race they would have gone home with some kind of trophy, and they didn't at this event for reasons that you will learn shortly.
Yeah, now we also had a fabulous performance by the Massholes, these long-suffering guys in their horrible Escort, and they were set to win this race. I mean, I think they lost on the last lap. Great job, guys.
These guys I really like because they're the kind of LeMons team. I have no idea who they are. They never email me. They always sign up properly. They could walk by me in the paddock. I wouldn't even know who they are. And then they go out and they totally kill it on track. As opposed to the guy who sent me 50 emails about how he cannot get his how to log on. And then he shows up and his car sucks and his team sucks and it's a pain in the neck. So Massholes are the opposite of that. Well done.
So we had a couple of guest judges, Judge Rich, Judge Tom. They really excelled on the penalties. They did the New England Deflategate penalty, where you have to go out, find a piece of Patriots wear, and then inflate a Hoosier racing tire to NFL specs.
Yeah, so that's between 12.5 and 13.5 PSI.
Yeah, that was really good. And then they took advantage of the driving range, which we mentioned earlier. You had to drive your car out into the driving range, and until one of your lame-ass teammates could hit it with a ball, you could not leave. We had the, you have to pronounce the unpronounceable Lake Next Door penalty. That was pretty good.
Yeah, Lake Chargogagog, Manchagagog, Chowbunna, Gungamog.
Let's go canoeing on
Lake Chargagong, Gargor,
Scenery viewing on Lake on ancient deeds, it's Chabada Conkamon.
Yeah, so as you guys will recall from our Button Willow recap.
Yeah, like they're watching more than one.
Yeah, so in our Button Willow recap, we made the point of people on the internet looking at pictures of LeMons and saying, I cannot believe you can buy that car for $500. So at this race, we decided to make it into an award because this guy brought a C4 Corvette.
Corvette, man!
With Ferrari scallop doors, sprint car wing on the roof,
Ferrari.
L98 V8, a 4-barrel, and a 4-speed.
By Daryl.
And what kind of Corvette can you get for $500? According to the internet, none. But in the real world, this.
And this was one of my favorite heroic fixes, maybe of all time. So these poor bastards, Manny and his guys in Elmo's Revenge of the Saturn. So in practice, clang, hit the wall super hard, shifted the whole front of the frame over about 20 degrees. So they had to spend the rest of the day, they were pulling it with chains and SUVs and trees and stuff. And they got it, you know, kind of straight. They finally got the motor in. Car runs again. Woohoo! They get out there. Guy steps on the brakes hard for the first corner. Boom! The fire extinguisher, which they forgot to snap back down, clang, runs into the floorboards, breaks the head off, fills the entire car. Yes, it's like a little rocket, solid propelled rocket, fills the entire car with carcinogenic chemicals. But they made it back on the track, and they finished the race.
Okay, so for whatever reason, in New England, in the northeast region of LeMons,
Particularly New Jersey.
the driving and behavior is just the most aggressive and aggro and manly and macho as it is anywhere in LeMons. And it's just everywhere you go, they're crashing into each other. Screw you, dude. Clang. And this race didn't start off any different. It started off with the first time this has ever happened, where somebody didn't pass tech, got all pissed off at Jay, and totally attacked him in the tech box.
And then there was a dude later who like got all liquored up in the middle of the night and went wilding with a knife in the pits.
So So the silver lining of that is it's actually a good place to be if you're a charity, because we usually have a charity in the penalty box, and when you come in to serve your penalty, which happens a lot in New England, you will be inclined to make a donation to the charity while you're sitting there.
Which brings us to the I Got Screwed trophy, because despite those two off-track things, which were terrible, on track, everybody was great. The charity for this race was the United Leukodystrophy Foundation, a great cause, and they got screwed because you know what? Everybody behaved brilliantly at this race. They were polite, they gave way, they let people pass, they did not drive off track, they were incredibly well behaved, and as a result, these poor bastards didn't get any donations. We did give them a trophy, and we even gave them a little bit of money, and a lot of the people who did win cash gave it to them too.
And that brings us to the organizer's choice, and it went to Three Pedal Mafia, repeat winner of this award. They've brought great stuff such as the boat, and the Rolls Royce.
The Rolls Royce.
This time they found a really crappy Citroën SM. Now, this is a car that car nerds will always ask the same questions about.
Right. It will say, does the hydro-pneumatic suspension still work?
Yes, it does.
Does it have a 4-cam all-alloy Maserati engine?
Yes, it does.
Is it l'automatique?
Mais oui! Now, because it's a Citroën SM...
Does that stand for Citroën Maserati?
Yes! They decided to do an S&M theme.
Now, obviously that brings up fabulous penalty potential. And in fact, one of the people subject to that penalty had just been hired at a new law office and asked us to blank out his face. Now, not surprisingly for a somewhat near $500 Citroën SM Maserati, they did have some problems.
The main issue was the ignition, and they couldn't get enough voltage to their coil, and that led to all kinds of testing and multimeters and this and that.
Fortunately, these guys are super experienced and talented mechanics, and they were not phased.
At one point, they tried to energize the coil with the battery from their Jazzy. Yeah, so perhaps their success was somewhat limited, and they did in fact come in dead last.
Yes, they did. Which was unfortunate for them, really, because at the end of the day, this was a two-car battle for IOE. There was these guys, and there was a Renault Fuego Turbo. Now, you really look at those two, and you're pretty sure one of those is going to win the IOE. And you know what? Coming in dead last, it means it ain't going to be you. But these guys in the Fuego Turbo now, this was like the Vichy versus Le Resistance. It was a battle of French titans, and man, that Fuego, it just went around and around and around and around, which is good, because the other times they've tried, it has hella sucked.
So yeah, after 3 times of trying, they have finally entered the Turbo Zone.
The Turbo Zone.
And that brings us to LeMons in a nutshell.
My safe word is chor gog, machu gog, cha bona ganga.
We got a theory. You see, Mike, we got a theory about magic and miracles. That's right. If magic is all we've ever known, then it's easy to miss what really goes on.
This car's gonna dominate.